Good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the concept generation, and this is one of the very important steps in product design, because this is where the real intellectual value addition to the product design takes place. In the product design cycle, this is the juncture at which some intellectual value addition to the product design process takes place. Now, let us see where we stand in the entire product design cycle. The voice of the customer is heard. The requirements are translated into various functions and sub-functions. You have the entire product map as a functional mapping. You have the entire product requirement translated into a functional mapping. So various functions and sub-functions are identified. Now what remains to be done is, I have to realize this sub-function as a subsystem of my product. Please remember, sub-function exists as a box. There is some material input, there is some energy input, there is some energy input, information input. Similarly, there are output in terms of energy, information and material. But this is only a black box. How I am going to translate these functions into a reality, that is what we are trying to do today. How a particular requirement, a functional requirement, can be converted into a working reality. That is achieved by what is called a concept, and how to generate the concept, that is what our concern is for today's discussion. Is it okay? Sir, are you able to follow? What is the objective today? What is the objective today? Concept. That is written there. Can you say anything else other than that? Where do we stand in the product development cycle? Please listen what is happening in the class and participate in the discussion. Is it okay? We have mapped the function mapped the requirement into various functions. You need a product, the voice of the customer is heard. Now for the product to perform, it should do this functions. That mapping we have done. But this mapping is only a black box. There are so many inputs coming, there are outputs generated. Inputs and outputs can be in terms of what? Material, energy or information. Now what we have to do is, how we are going to physically realize this. That is what we are studying today. That can be realized by generating various concepts. Please sit down. I have some intense discussion planned today, and I require all your attention. Next slide, please. What is a concept? Concepts are means of providing a function. In our discussion, concept may mean many things in English. But in our context, concept means how we are going to provide a function, how we are going to realize a function. They can be represented as sketches. How do you represent a concept? Concepts can be represented as sketches, block diagrams, textual information, clay model, paper model, wooden model. You have an idea. That idea needs to be represented somehow. And that is how, these are the various ways by which the idea, the concept can be represented. Please remember, new ideas are the core of any product success. If your product doesn't have anything new, anything innovative, your product is not bound to click. And what is the key for success? Innovation newness, innovation and something new, something innovative. That is the key to success. So this phase of product development is very, very important. This particular phase of product development is very, very important. Next slide please. What is innovation? I thought I should refer to Wikipedia about what is innovation. Because nowadays the culture of referring to dictionary is old. I thought I should also become trendy. I thought I will refer to Wikipedia. This is what Wikipedia says about innovation. Innovation is the creation of better or more effective products. To my surprise, he talks about product development rather than anything else. Okay, this I have cut and pasted from Wikipedia. Innovation is the creation of better or more effective products, processes or services, technologies or ideas that are accepted by markets, governments and society. So innovation, two things are very clear, rather three things are very clear. Innovation is a creation of idea. Innovation is the creation of idea. And I am just splitting this definition into three parts. What is innovation? Innovation is a creation of idea. Idea for what? For a better product or service. Idea for a better product or service. And how should that idea be? It should be accepted by the society at large. So I take the liberty, Wikipedia can be edited, so I took the liberty of editing it. So innovation is the creation of better idea. Idea on what? Idea on products and services. What is the condition? These ideas must be acceptable to the society at large. Now, I thought I should give few examples of innovation. Next slide please. So this is a clock. It is a very innovative clock. Okay, when you think of clock, people always thought of a rectangle or a square one with a small hand and big hand. Nothing is that. Okay. So this is the clock which really works. Okay. So this is what I mean by innovation. A new, something fresh exists in this design. Next slide please. Innovation in action. Whenever I think of innovation, I cannot but recall this particular incident. An automotive garage workshop owner in Brazil, he has developed. In Brazil, Brazil is also a third world country like India. And they have acute power shortage as in India. Okay. So they have to work. This mechanic has to work in dark shifts for hours. So can we please stop it for a moment? So he thought, even in daytime, many of you might have seen this video, but still it is worth seeing again. Even in the daytime, the sheds and households will be very dark. Because the poor households, they don't have proper ventilation and they don't have provision for lighting and air to flow in freely. This is typically a product developed for the slums of Brazil. Please remember, this is a lighting solution for the slums of Brazil, where people cannot afford to have electric bulbs. Whenever I think of innovation, I am amazed by the level of innovation that this product has contributed. It is not patented. I am very happy about it. This particular product is not patented. It is available. You can make use of it and then light your home if you want. People in Mumbai are using it. People in Philippines, they are using it. Okay, let us see. I would rate this bulb more than Edison's bulb. Shall we see from the beginning? From the beginning, please. Yes. No, can you please hold it? Can you please go back and hold it? Okay, it is, stop it there. It is a bottle. Okay, this bottle is filled with pure water. And then you add some bleach into it. Shake it well. Close it tight. Okay, the bottle cap is going to be covered with the lid of what do you call, the films. Now you have digital camera. Earlier you have roll. Isn't it roll film? That cap will be there. That is fixed onto the cap, because when it is exposed to sun, the cap should not become brittle and okay. You please see it. He is filling the bottle. So you just fix it. So it is a very simple solution. This is what really we mean by innovation. Okay. And please believe me, these lights are being used by poor all over the world now. From Brazil to Philippines, it has traveled all over the world. And the catch is, it doesn't have a battery. Next. Now, we do need, now I have a packed agenda for the day, so please listen to me carefully. So what are the sources of ideas? How can I generate new ideas to solve the problem? I have a functional mapping done. These are all the things that I have to do. I have identified what is the function to be accomplished. A big product is divided into many small functions. Now these functions are to be realized by the product, but for realizing these functions into sub-assemblies or sub-products, I need to have concepts. How am I going to get it? There are a lot of ways. Now we have to identify the paradox of modern world. Now ideas at times may happen spontaneously. Okay? Please believe me, I am going to teach you some two techniques today. And the person who developed the bottle bulb, he didn't employ any of these techniques. It spontaneously occurred to him. He designed it like that. He tried, he succeeded, and it clicked. Then why should he study about these systematic procedures? Because see, in an industrial environment, you need ideas to solve problems. And you cannot send your engineers to some boring tree under which he will sit and then scratch his head. No. You have to evolve a systematic way by which ideas can be generated to solve day-to-day problems. The day-to-day problems that the industry face, they won't wait for some spontaneous idea to click for somebody so that a solution can be obtained. No. I want solutions to the problems today. And I want to solve these problems. So, ideas have to come where the problems are posed. So that is why we are compelled to go for a systematic way to generate ideas. What are these systematic ways? One, you can use the patent information as a source for ideas. The patent informations nowadays, they are available online. These patent information can be used as a source for idea. You can use reference books and trade journals. They give you a lot of ideas. You can use experts, consultants for solving some of your problems. They can be used as for solving some of your problems. Or the last two techniques are the ones that we are going to concentrate today. There is a technique called brainstorming, which is a method, a systematic method for generating ideas. And there is something called the 635 method. A 635 method for generating new ideas. Is it okay? I will briefly touch upon the first three and then explain the remaining two in detail. Next slide please. So this is the website of US Patent Office. So you can see the first line itself indicates, many of you may not be able to read it. The first line here, it indicates, it talks about patent search. The website address is given here, USPTO, www.uspto.gov. It is a very systematically organized database of all the US patents. Anything that you want to know about, suppose you want to know about cancer curing drugs that are patented in US, you can search it very easily. Within 5 minutes, you can get a list of all the cancer curing drugs that are patented in US. Or if you want, say, reprographic mechanisms, you can get. It is a very effective, well organized search system. So it is worth visiting and then see how all the knowledge that is generated all over the world is categorized and systematically made available. So this is the website of the US Patent Office. Next slide please. Trade journals. There are many interesting trade journals for various trades. As I told you, my area of specialization is manufacturing. So I know only about trade journals that are available for manufacturing engineers. So this is the journal called Manufacturing Engineering, and this is a journal called Cutting Tool Engineering. These are trade journals. Interestingly, these journals are available in our library also. You can see them. They provide you a wealth of information. This just I downloaded today, some 120 pages of PDF file, the current issue of Cutting Tool Engineering. It is available free on the website. You can download the PDF file. It talks about various cutting tools, for milling, for grinding, for end milling, for turning, for CNC machines, okay, for the offshore drilling, for drilling machines, for offshore drilling machines. All about cutting tool engineering is available in this website. Okay, my idea is not to show you all the 120 pages. Such resources do exist. It is up to you to make use of them. So in the last lecture, I have referred about the technical specifications of various products which are available as product catalogs. The reason I asked you to write an assignment on comparing the specifications, doing a benchmarking for two windmills is you will know about the technical pamphlets of various products which are available in the internet. Now my today's objective of showing you a trade journal is you have such journals, magazines to be more precise, available online. You can gather a wealth of information from these magazines. Okay, you can just Google it, manufacturing engineering. If you just type, you can go to the website of this journal. I have failed to give the website address. The cutting tool engineering can also be searched, and then you can go to the website of that particular magazine. The current issue can always be downloaded for the magazines, not for journals. Next slide, please. Now the expert's opinion you can gather. You can employ a consultant. You can employ a consultant who will give you an idea about the problem in hand, and then he will help you to sort it out. Now I told you today the objective is to learn about two important techniques. One is called brainstorming. The other one is called 635 technique. What is that 635? Let the curiosity remain for some time. I will answer that in another 10 minutes. Now first let us talk about brainstorming. What is brainstorming? You have a problem in hand. Now you put people together. You form a team. You put people together. Let them talk about the problem. Okay. And as a team, as a group, they come up with various ideas that can solve the problem. So what is our basic objective here? The objective is to create solutions, creating concept. Concept creation is the task before us. Concepts can be best created by resorting to what is called the brainstorm. Concepts can be best created by resorting to what is called brainstorm. See here, what we are trying to tap at is the interactive effect of a group. Rather, to be more precise, the synergy of a group. Now, see, anyone cannot, in the modern complex in situations, any one individual cannot come out with a very perfect solution. So what happens in brainstorming is, let us first see the procedure part of it, then I will tell you why brainstorming is very effective. Let us first see the procedure part of it. How brainstorming is done? Form a group of appropriate size and composition. The size generally, it is not to exceed 8. Okay. The size can be 3 to 8. The recommended size can be 3 to 8. But it should not be very large. I cannot conduct a brainstorming session for the entire team. Probably we can think of, I'll probably in the next class, I'll select few of you, and then probably we will have a brainstorming session on some problem which I will declare on that day. Okay, we will have it as a mock exercise. I'll pick some of you and then we'll have. Then you will understand the power of brainstorms. Let us see. Now, we have to form a group of appropriate size and composition. Size not to exceed 8. Is it okay? The first thing I have to state, what is the problem in hand? So that has to be very clearly stated. In brainstorming, all the ideas generated ought to be recorded. All the ideas that are generated ought to be recorded by someone who is appointed as a secretary. He or she also can contribute. In end brainstorming, the secretary will also contribute, but his responsibility is to record all the ideas that are generated. Next slide, please. Now, generate as many ideas as possible. You verbalize the idea. This is one of the limitations of brainstorming. In brainstorming, you have to primarily rely on textual communication. You have to verbalize the ideas. This is the limitation of the brainstorming, which we will overcome in 6-3-5. Okay. Now this is the key in brainstorming. In brainstorming, you have to think wild, you have to think silly, and you, without hesitation, you should give even impossible ideas, because many times seemingly impossible ideas may trigger something else in someone else's mind, and you may get a wonderful, workable solution. And another important aspect in brainstorming is no evaluation or criticism or judgment of ideas during the session. Evaluating the ideas is reserved for the next stage. During brainstorming, we must invariably do what? Come out with the ideas. There is no question of evaluating. There is nothing called right idea or wrong idea. This is crazy. I should not say. Whatever idea comes, in fact, people are to be encouraged to think wild, to think silly, to think what is known as out of the box thinking. Do you know what is out of the box thinking? That is a traditional way of solving the problem. The brainstorming is particularly to discourage the traditional way of thinking and to come out with new ideas. That means the thinking must be out of the box. That is why we want wild ideas, silly ideas, crazy ideas. Okay, that may really lead to a workable, wonderful solution. Now, what happens in brainstorming? In brainstorming, what we try to achieve is the synergy of a group. Okay, you tell something, but that triggers something else in my mind. Finally, as a cumulative effect of these processes, finally you land up with a fine solution to the problem. So you have this taking place multiple times. You give a wild idea, that triggers something else, and I say something else, and that triggers something else on you. And this happens as a chain reaction, and finally we land up with a workable solution to the problem in hand. Companies do believe brainstorming sessions leading to miraculous results. The single most disadvantage of brainstorming is it relies on verbal communication. I have to put it in so many words, and that is recorded as words only. So that is the biggest limitation of brainstorming. Is it okay? Do you understand what we mean by brainstorming? How it is done? Why it is done? Can you say why? What is the objective of brainstorming?
To get a useful idea.
Very good. To get some
Useful idea.
new useful ideas. Ideas for what?
Solving the problem.
Which problem? Good ideas for solving the problem, but which problem? See, this is where it is not good enough if you listen today alone, you have to listen to. I repeatedly try to very decomposed the product requirement. I have many black boxes, if I am permitted to use the term, as an output of functional decomposition. I have many black boxes. What do these boxes say? Typically these boxes say convert electrical energy into torque. One box may say to me, convert electrical energy into torque. How to convert electrical energy into torque? There can be hundreds of solutions. One standard solution is use a DC motor. Is it okay? Somebody may come out, in the brainstorming session, somebody may come out with an idea. Please sit down. Somebody may come out with an idea, use electrical energy to pump water and let the water fall on a turbine and let the turbine rotate and provide torque. This may trigger something else. And finally, a solution is arrived at. And what is the problem before the brainstorming session? It is one of the boxes that we have talked about. Do you understand? All these boxes, after functional decomposition, you will be having a typical functional mapping. This entire functional mapping, each box, it needs a solution now. That solution is obtained by following any one of the techniques. Either you refer to patents or you refer to experts, you write journals, reference books, or if you want to generate ideas in-house, you generate through brainstorming or 5 through 6, 3, 5. Is it okay? Have you understood brainstorming clearly? Any doubts? Please feel free. I find that because of the increased number, the interaction is very. Yes, you have some doubts. Anyone there have some doubts? Yes? No? Fine. Shall we go ahead? Okay. Next slide. 635. Why is 635? We will see it. We will see it so. Arrange the team members around the table. The number of members preferred for the study, it is not a rigorous rule. The number of members preferred is 6. It can be 7, it can be 5. Okay. But the preferred number is 6. That gives the first thing. 6 members are going to discuss. Each member, first what you do is, you have a big sheet of paper. In fact, you have 6 big sheets of paper. The paper is divided into 3 columns. If you have a really big sheet of paper, that paper is divided into 3 columns. The paper is divided into 3 columns. Typically these are methods used in industries. Typically we use a A3 size of paper. You know A3 paper. Okay. So you have the A3 paper like this. Not the way you use it for your drawing. We use it like this. A3 paper. Then you divide it into 3 columns. So there are 6 people sitting in a table. To each we give 1 sheet of paper. The paper is divided into 3 columns already. That is why the number 3. Okay. Now what each person does is, he will provide 3 solutions to the problem in hand. He can give it textually, he can sketch a solution, he can do whatever he wants. He can give a drawing, he can give a flow chart, he can give a conceptual model, he can give anything that he wants. It need not be text alone. He gives 3 different solutions to the problems in hand. Everyone does it. All the 6 people sitting around the table, all 6 they give three ideas, three possible solutions to the existing problem. And the time allowed for each person is 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, because well, they have done a lot of research and then perfected this method, the brain works better, unlike in this instance, the brain works better when it is put under pressure. Gentleman over there is very relaxed. He is too relaxed. Okay. Brain performs better when put under pressure. Probably I am not putting enough pressure on you. Okay. So your brain stopped working. Okay. So in 635 method, we want to put pressure on every individual's brain. So you are given only 5 minutes to give 3 ideas. So after 5 minutes, you just draw a line, pass on the paper to the next person beside you. So what I will do, I will pass on all my ideas to the person sitting next to me, and I will in turn receive the ideas from my receiving person. So now I have another 5 minutes to ponder over the ideas of another person, and then I can add my comments to it. I can develop this idea further, or I can give a fourth idea of mine. But the condition is I have to go through all these ideas and then only I can proceed, coming out with my own suggestions and improvements. As it proceeds, please remember every cycle is only 5 minutes. But as the round proceeds, I have more ideas to go through, and then I have very little time to come out with my own ideas. People have researched and then find this to stimulate the brain extremely well. And many times in the 635 method, the ideas found at the bottom of the paper, they were found to be extremely good. So this continues until the paper with which I started, it comes back to me. If it is in a round, the paper I started with, it will come back to me, then it will stop. Then all the ideas are collected together and it is processed. Now, why it is 635 method? It is 6 people, 3 ideas, 5 minutes. It is 6 people, 3 ideas, and 5 minutes. Is it okay? And this goes on in round, and people come out with. So let us see the steps carefully. Arrange the team members around the table. Usually it is 6. Each member describes, sketches 3 ideas for the primary product. The ideas are expressed in clearly distinguished areas of a large paper. We have marked it into 3 zones. After 5 minutes of work on the concepts, member passes their ideas to the person on their right. He will in turn receive the ideas from the left. For the next 5 minutes, team members modify without erasing. I cannot altogether reject an idea. I can modify it, I can improve upon it. The idea is on the sheet with an option of adding an entirely new concept not contained on their original idea sheet. Next slide please. Passing on the idea sheets continues until the member's original sheet returns. After gathering the ideas for each of the primary product functions, the entire process is repeated to develop alternative layouts and combine the concept variants that utilize summary of the solution principles generated for each function. And this part we will see later. Now what we are concerned about is concept generation. How these concepts are going to be combined and finally realized as a product. We will see later. Now what all that we need are new ideas. Now these ideas are post-processed and they are accumulated and summarized. Probably the last but one step we will see in detail later. So this is what the 635 method is. Any doubts you have? So I have taught you two new techniques today. One is brainstorming and the other one is, are you very clear about it? Any doubts you have? What are these ideas for? What are these techniques for? Idea generation. What are these ideas going to do? Solve some of the black boxes. The black boxes describe tasks. Please remember the way we have structured the functional decomposition. Every black box is in order. Every black box is in order. People can go through, if they have their notes, they can go back and check. Each box tells you, it starts with the verb and it asks you to do something. Convert electrical energy. Protect this. Support this. Okay. Withstand loads. So every black box is an order. Each black box needs a solution which is done by generating these ideas. Done? Any doubts? Next slide. Fine. Now I have another 40-45 minutes. Now that I have talked about ideas, new ideas, okay, new concepts, I thought I should, along with this, I should tell you about an interesting mechanical phenomena, an interesting mechanical idea. And today I am going to talk about, in the case of product case study, I am going to talk about what are known as perpetual motion machines, or in short they are called PPMs, perpetual motion machines. Before I start my lecture on this, let me tell one thing very, very clearly. These machines will never work. These are ideas which will never work. Before going into generating ideas which will solve our problems, we should also know what work. So today, our discussion is going to be on a very interesting area in mechanical engineering called perpetual motion machines. Is it okay? Next slide please. Now what is a perpetual motion machine? What do you mean by something perpetual? Literally, what does perpetual means? English. What is perpetual in English? Always. Hey, who said it? Who said it? Always, right. Perpetual means forever, always. Literally it means a machine that moves forever. A machine that moves forever. The other commonly used names are self-acting machines, free energy machines, self-acting pumps. It usually means a machine that produces continuous output without any continuous input. Literally, perpetual motion machine means a machine that works continuously. It gives continuous output without receiving any continuous input. Next slide. Let us see some perpetual motion machines. This is a perpetual motion machine proposed by the great Indian mathematician B.S.ABDUR. Please believe me, at the outset I have told these machines will never work. Great people have worked on perpetual motion machine. I can tell you many interesting stories. Okay, in fact, some 6 months back, I am not telling it, I am not cooking this up. Okay, 6 months back, a very old person in my street, he approached me. He told me that, sir, he's a very old person, 80, 85 years old person. He worked in some central government organization. In all seriousness, after learning from somebody that I am working in a college and learning that I am a mechanical engineer with PhD, he told me so. Sir, I was told that you have done your PhD in IIT Madras. So I have this invention with me. I don't want to share it with anybody because they may steal it. Okay, with a lot of reluctance. Okay, with a lot of cautioning that you should not steal that. I am trusting you and then showing all this to you. He has showed me a toy. And believe me, it is a perpetual motion machine. Great minds. B.S.ABDUR is a great mathematician. Okay, and believe me, he never believed what I said. He could not understand what I spoke to him. And he believed that I am persuading him in the wrong way. Then finally what I have to tell him was, there is a patent office in Hindi, you better go and approach him. Because beyond the point, he seriously believes that I am stealing his ideas. This I am not cooking it up, I am telling you something which really happened 6 months back. He believes honestly that I am stealing his ideas, so I have to very respectfully tell him that you have to go better approach the patent office. They have a separate section for innovative ideas, indigenous ideas. Okay, you better talk to them. Again, he will be talking to some professional. Okay, but I am fully convinced what he is talking about is a perpetual motion machine. This is a perpetual motion machine that was proposed by B.S.ABDUR. Let me explain how this works. But B.S.ABDUR explained it very clearly. See, on the left you see, these are tubes filled with glasses. These are tubes filled with, these are tubes filled with liquids. And they are hinged here. They are hinged here. All of you must know about moment. What is a moment? Force into perpendicular distance. Let me take up the wheel on the right first and then come back to the wheel on the left. Okay. Now, the wheel on the right, it has these are cavities. These are cavities. These cavities are filled with liquids. Imagine first I give some motion to it. First I give some motion to it. Now what happens? Because of the centrifugal force, this liquid, what will happen to it? It will go to the periphery. It will go here. It will occupy this area. Now the shape, it is having a special shape. Now this particular shape permits large mass of the liquid to be on the outermost region when the liquid comes to the right side. This particular shape, believe me, it was proposed by B.S.ABDUR. The special characteristics of the shape is the large mass of the liquid can be on the further to the center when it comes to the right, but here the mass is concentrated close to the center when it comes to the left. Is it okay? Large mass is concentrated on the right. So what happens? You have mass which is away, and that mass into distance, the mass is having a weight, so that weight into the distance will give a moment. Now, from the figure you can understand the moment produced in the right hand side is far larger than the moment produced in the left hand side. So the wheel must keep on rotating. Always the moment produced by the mass in the right side of the wheel is larger than the moment produced in the left side of the wheel. Please see, the mass is concentrated on the left side of the wheel, it is concentrated close to the center. On the some high density liquid. Typically you can visualize it as using mercury here, a high density liquid. So what will happen? The wheel will rotate forever. Let us come back to the thing in the right. Here again, the wheels are hinged here. So the mass is thrown out. On the other hand, the mass remains close to. The mass remains close to the center. It is not hinged. Please, the hinge will come later. It is not hinged. This is fixed. Again, the same idea. Let's view a few more perpetual motion machines. Next slide. So this is Pacola's wheel, and this was developed in. He lived between 1382 and 1458. Now, the moment I make it run, okay, it is a foldable type. It can bend in this direction, okay, but it is not permitted to bend in this direction. Now, if I make it rotate, what will happen? When I make it rotate, when it goes here, it will fold. Again, the mass comes close to the center. But when it comes to this side, it stretches. It cannot bend in this direction. Are you able to appreciate the mechanism? So, to the right, there will be greater bending moment acting in this direction. So, this will keep on rotating in this direction. The same idea is articulated. This is the original drawing, and this is a model made as per the drawing. Next slide, please. Da Vinci. No less person than Da Vinci. Da Vinci is considered as, what is he called? Yes, the first engineer of the world. Da Vinci is considered as the first engineer of the world. He has designed many systems. He has designed many systems, many machines. He has designed first submarine, conceptual, on paper. He has designed many systems that even fascinate engineers today. Da Vinci has designed many perpetual motion machines. Now here, you have a series of balls. Okay, the shape is such, the balls will get collected, thrown to the outside when they come. You can leisurely go through all these drawings. This is a variation of this. Now, if you see here, the ball when it rotates, when a particular segment comes here, the ball will remain here. On the other hand, when it goes, the ball will go close to the center. The shape is in such a way that the ball will be thrown out when it comes to the right hand side. Similarly here, please remember this will rotate in the counterclockwise direction, because in the left side the moment is more. Is it okay? This will rotate in the counterclockwise direction. Next. So this is a hydraulic perpetual motion machine. Okay, you have a tube, okay, which pumps water. So the water is going to keep on circulating. If I keep a small turbine in between, I can generate energy forever. The water is going to keep on flowing. Now at this section, if I keep a small turbine, in this section you keep a small turbine, it will keep on running forever because water keeps on flowing forever. Water will never get exhausted. In fact, we might have seen, all of you might have seen something which is similar to a perpetual motion machine in our daily life also. Next slide, please. Now, before we come to that, the Royal Academy of Sciences. The Royal Academy of Sciences in 1775 It has made a royal proclamation. I don't know whether you know about the Royal Academy of Sciences. It is the highest body of science at that point of time. In 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, the Royal Academy of Sciences, it was the highest body with regard to science. Okay. In 1775, literally, they have banned any research on perpetual motion machines. Because many scientists and engineers, they committed suicide because they could not realize a perpetual motion machine. I am not joking. This is something which happened in history. See, on the drawing, it appeared so fine. It appeared so workable. But when they went to fabricate, it doesn't work. They got frustrated, and almost in 1775, the Royal Academy of Sciences in Paris made a statement that the Academy will no longer accept or deal with proposals concerning perpetual motion. They will no longer accept the proposals concerning perpetual motion. The reasoning was that perpetual motion is impossible to achieve and that the search for it is time consuming and very expensive. According to the members of the Academy, those bright minds dedicating their time and resources to this search could be utilized much better in other, more reasonable endeavors. Nevertheless, many individuals continue to propose and build various perpetual machines in a quest to attain their end goal of free energy. What is the objective of perpetual motion machine?
Free energy.
If I could make a machine run forever, I could tap small amount of energy from it and generate some small current. Energy, any form of energy. If you could achieve mechanical motion perpetually, you can always think of some means by which that energy can be converted into electrical energy or whatever form you want. So the central idea is the idea of free energy. Okay, please believe me, I showed this particular slide. Royal Academy of Sciences, where many great people work, many great scientists work, did not conclusively prove that perpetual motion machine will not work. Serious statement. The perpetual motion is impossible to achieve. It is okay, that is strong enough. But what is the next sentence? The search for it is time consuming and very expensive. They have not theoretically proved that perpetual motion machine will not work. The proof is to come later. Next slide please. The proofs are to come later, particularly in 1897. In 1897, you will be studying about these laws in your thermodynamics. These thermodynamic laws, the first law and the second law, put together, they have only put a final seal scientifically on the impossibility of a perpetual motion machine. The first law states, when a system executes a cyclic process, the net work is proportional to the heat input. Please remember, it has a context. The thermodynamics first law and second law, they talk about converting heat energy into mechanical energy. The first law states that without a net heat input, heat energy cannot be converted into work energy. Okay, probably you will learn about second law also in your due course. Okay, once you study the second law, you just think about how it can be applied with reference to the perpetual motion machine. I will try to give a simpler explanation for the impossibility of perpetual motion machine. The explanation is something like this. You have a system, there cannot be an output without an input. You cannot realize a system which has efficiency more than 100%. Your output can never be, in energy conversion, in any energy conversion, the output of the system cannot be more than the input to the system. In fact, the thermodynamics statements are going to put a much lower limit than this. While converting heat energy to work, mechanical work. In fact, later on you might have all studied about, in your school itself you would have studied about Carnot engine. Yes or no? What is the formula for Carnot efficiency? 1 minus T2 by T1. Where T1 is the source temperature and T2 is the sink temperature. If a Carnot engine operates between the source and sink, the source temperature is T1, the sink temperature is T2, the efficiency of the engine cannot exceed 1 minus T2 by T1. Yes or no? So 1 minus T2 by T1 is going to be much lower than 100%. No heat engine can give actual efficiency more than Carnot efficiency. Carnot efficiency is the theoretical upper limit. Carnot efficiency is the theoretical upper limit for heat work conversion. But in any energy conversion, okay, there cannot be more than 100% efficiency because energy can never be created. Your system, it cannot create energy. Energy can never be created, so your system cannot have more energy outflow rather than inflow. Is it okay? That is the final proof that perpetual motion machines will not work in spite of all the illusion. If you go through any of these diagrams, you cannot prove, or it is very, very difficult. There are proofs existing, but they are very, very difficult to prove that this will not work. Next slide, please. An apparent perpetual motion machine, the drinking bird. Many of you might have seen it. This bird, it will keep on oscillating forever. Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
Okay, yes or no?
Yes,
It will keep on oscillating forever. The water drinking bird. Is it a perpetual motion machine? See, first of all, as engineers, you should immediately answer no. Because of the statement that I have made, there cannot be energy creation taking place in any system. How it is not a perpetual motion machine? Next slide, please. How a drinking bird works? How a drinking bird works? You wet the drinking bird's head, the head of the bird, it gets wet. The water evaporates from the outside of the drinking bird's head. This cools the drinking bird's head, okay, which causes, it is filled with a volatile liquid, usually an alcohol, okay. This causes the vapor inside the drinking bird's head to condense. This results in lower pressure in the drinking bird's head, which sucks the liquid up from the base of the drinking bird. As the liquid flows into the head, the drinking bird becomes top heavy and tips forward. Okay, when you pour some water on the bird's head, all these things take place. When it tips over, the bottom end of the neck tube, can you please go back? That is, I don't have that figure unfortunately now. See, if you see, there will be a tube going from here to the neck, which provides an additional loop for the fluid to go. Okay, probably I'll leave it to you. You can probably search. It is easy to find. Probably it will be available in Wikipedia or some other site. You just Google it and then find out how the pearl bird works. Very clear explanations are available. Next slide, please. Next. Now there are many magnet-based perpetual motion machines. Okay. See, what I have told you is basically based on the idea of moment. All the perpetual motion machines I have showed you are based on the idea of a net moment acting on the left or right, which creates a torque which rotates the machine forever. Okay. I have also shown a hydraulic perpetual motion machine. There are magnetic perpetual motion machines also. Next slide please. So this is how a magnet-based perpetual motion machine works. So you have 90 stator magnets, 12 moving magnets. Okay. You can stop it at any point of time and see that these moving magnets are pulled by. There is a special way in which these stator magnets are arranged. At any one instant you can stop it and then you can freeze it and then see that there will always be a net pull acting on the rotor in a particular direction. So the idea is to prove that it will keep on rotating. What is the simple refutation of this perpetual motion machine? Consider the whole system, the whole machine as a system. What is the energy flow in? What is the energy flow? There is no energy coming in, so there cannot be a energy flow outside. Simple. Is it okay? Next slide. Some reason-free energy inventions. Okay. Of course, this is about a year-old presentation. I don't know whether this website exists today. Okay. It's a very interesting website. I warn you. Okay, don't lose any money. Okay, because this website, it will ask you some money. Please don't say that this is recommended by my professor, so I will send it. No, I am not recommending anything in this. Okay. So these are some of the websites which are currently available who claim that they have developed free energy. Please read it carefully. With free power blueprint, I am going to guide you step by step and teach you everything you need to know in order to create a magnetic free energy generator. My generator works at 0 point, meaning it doesn't require any source of renewable or non-renewable energy. It powers itself, okay, and works without stopping. It doesn't require any kind of fuel to run. And it is pollution-free technology, meaning it produces free, green, eco-friendly energy. Okay. This kind of technology can completely eliminate the energy crisis in the world. And Tamil Nadu also. It's fairly simple and cheap to make. You are probably wondering, if there is a technology that creates free energy, why haven't you heard about it? Very logical question. It is because the large energy corporations are actively suppressing this technology. Okay. I have had enormous hurdles in my research for free energy, and there were certain individuals who tried everything they could to stop me from releasing the plans to the generator who is giving me absolutely free energy. If everyone wants to implement this device, the profits of the energy corporations will be greatly reduced. They wouldn't want this to happen. They want to take your money. Luckily, now you have the solution. They'll ask you to send $10 so that they can mail you all the details, procedures, components for building the free energy, and you will get it. Please believe me, you will get a booklet, you will get few components, but it will never work. Why it will never work? Because there cannot be, in any system, there cannot be a net outflow. There cannot be a net outflow which is more than the net energy inflow. There cannot be a net energy outflow, okay, more than the net energy inflow. Next slide please. So what are the pitfalls? The fallacy of vacuum. These are some of the basic engineering ideas with which they try to create the illusion of a perpetual motion. The energy of permanent magnet. The permanent magnet has some energy with it, so that is being tapped. Irreversibility. There is an important, the important concept called irreversibility, which you would have studied in your physics and which you will continue to study, in thermodynamics. The concept of irreversibility is very, very important for engineers. Okay. I'll briefly I'll complete this perpetual motion machine and then I'll talk probably for 5 minutes about the concept of irreversibility, because that is also very, very important for engineers. Then friction. Friction always exists and it always eats energy. Friction always consumes energy. Okay. Next slide. Right. Now I will just, if you have any questions, I'll answer that. Otherwise, I will talk about for 5 minutes about the concept of irreversibility, and with that we can call it a day. Any doubts you have? As usual, nothing? No, let me not call it a day unless I have at least 5 questions today. Probably I should do it more often. I will not call it a day unless I hear 5 questions from the students. Your time now. This also has something to do with engineering. See, when you lower your center of gravity, your stability becomes enhanced. I am teaching you engineering now. I am not ridiculing anybody. When you lower your center of gravity, your stability increases. And whatever happens around, you won't get disturbed. Okay, be it an audio input or whatever it is, nothing happens. So don't go down. Try to raise your center of gravity so that you remain alert. Yes? 5 questions, after that irreversibility, then only your lunch. First question. You. Yes.
Sir, you said that it works on a principle of moment, no sir, that weak. Sir, if the moment is true means then it should work, no sir. Why you are saying it's not work?
Moment is an engineering reality. No, I can answer this question in 2 ways. One, from a larger perspective, the whole wheel is taken as a system. There is no energy input, so there cannot be energy output forever. Without an input, there is no output. Okay. Please try to. There is another way. So can we go back to the first slide, probably? Yes. There is another way, which is, I tell you, is very deceptive. In this particular position of the wheel, if you calculate the net moment, there is a net moment acting in the clockwise direction. But what I have done is, or rather I didn't do it, what B.S.ABDUR had done is, he had conveniently analyzed one transient position of the wheel. And then he had assumed that transient position is going to occur forever. Please believe me, I can see this wheel is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns. This wheel is having 8 segments. So, every 30 degrees it is having a symmetry. After 30 degrees of rotation, the analysis need not be done. After 30 30 degrees of rotation, this would have come in this place. There is no fresh analysis is required. You get my point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spokes are there. I want to analyze every possible position of the wheel. Meaning, after I rotate it slowly, after 30 degrees of rotation, I need not analyze further. Because the position is the same position. This wheel would have come, this spokes would have come here, this spokes would have come here. I need not analyze further. So what I need to analyze? I need to analyze from 1 degree rotation to 30 degree rotation. 0 degree rotation to 30 degree rotation. Let me call this as 0 degree position. At 0 degree position, you have a net moment. I can calculate the value. I can probably calculate the area. Area is proportional to mass. Mass is proportional to weight. Into distance, I can calculate. I can get the net moment acting on the right. Now what you have to do is, what B.S.ABDUR didn't do is, for 1 degree, you redo the exercise. For 2 degrees, you redo the exercise. For 3 degrees, you redo the exercise. If 1 degree resolution is not good enough, you do for 0 degree, 0.1 degree, 0.2 degree, 0.3 degree, 0.4 degree, up to 30 degrees. You calculate at every instant what is the net moment acting in the clockwise direction. I can assure you, if you do this calculation with say a resolution of 0.1 is good enough, 0.1 degree is good enough. If you do this calculation with a resolution of 0.1 degree, I can prove that the net moment acting in the clockwise direction is equal to the net moment acting in the counterclockwise direction. The fallacy of B.S.ABDUR or Da Vinci, I don't know, many of you must know it. Da Vinci is a great engineer. Many things we use even today, okay, we owe it to Da Vinci. He was an engineer, not only an engineer, military engineer for the French. Okay. Now many of the, including the Da Vinci's, he has chosen a very convenient position for the perpetual motion machine and analyzed it at that transient position alone. There are many such transient positions. At some other transient position, there will be a counterclockwise moment coming, and if you add everything together, it will be 0. Second question.
Sir, if it works, then what kind of, how much speed will you get?
It will not work in Nanakona. Okay. I have started my lecture because many times after the lecture I have students coming and then asking me, sir, why don't we fabricate a perpetual motion machine? I have given this lecture earlier. Okay, in the same hall I have given this lecture earlier. Okay, after the lecture some of the students came and then said, shall we fabricate a perpetual motion? What is the point? The very point of the lecture, that's why I started this lecture, learning from that feedback, I started this lecture with a caveat, with a caution, saying that these are machines which will never work. Okay? And if somebody is asking you $5 or $10 on free energy, they are trying to cheat you. They might become billionaires. It might be a good business plan, but not a good engineering plan. Okay? Free energy is deceptive, it is cheating. There is an American slang which says that there is nothing called a free lunch. Okay, there is an American slang which says that there is nothing called a free lunch. Meaning what? You have to earn every piece of food that you eat. There is nothing called a free lunch. Similarly, there is nothing called free energy. That is the message I wanted to communicate. Third question. Quick, it is already 12:40. I have. Yes. Mike, please.
Basically, we have a place water bottle on top, sir. Sir, whether if it is placed at a particular angle, that is diffraction angle, whether 7 colors can enter into the room.
No, the objective is to light the room. What we are trying to effect is, I haven't studied it enough. Okay, but as I understand, in the first glance of it, I haven't studied any technology behind it, the science behind it rather. But as I understand, it is the multiple internal reflection which is happening because of the bleach particles. The bleach particles suspended, they take the sunlight and they scatter it, they reflect it. They undergo multiple reflections through these bleach particles which get suspended in the water. Okay, that is the source of light inside. Okay, and our objective is not to effect to get a spectrum. What is the purpose? The purpose is pure and simple. We want lighting inside the room. I don't want a spectrum inside the room. It should be counterproductive. So the design, okay, simple. That's where the elegancy lies. The bottle we see everywhere. It is a waste. Okay, they use a film cap to protect the thing, and people say it works for 2 years. It will cost you literally nothing. Maximum 1 rupee, 2 rupee. Bleach you have to buy. And they give the complete prescription. You have seen the video. You have to put 2 capfuls of bleach. Bleach is nothing but your bleaching powder. Okay, which your mom will use to clean the house floor. Okay, probably some of you can try it. Okay, some of you can try it and then see, you can measure the light intensity coming and then say exactly how it works.
Instead of baking powder, if we add fluorescence material, can we get light in the night?
It is up to you to innovate. No. Fluorescence, it will not store so much of light energy. Basically, if you want to have, see, engineers must develop this habit. Very good question. See, engineers must develop this habit. See, what is the main issue if you want light in the night? Have to store energy and then release it. Simple. Whatever may be the form, it might be light itself stored and then released. Have to store so much of energy and then release it during the night. Excellent thinking that you have done. Okay. You wanted to store, because this will work only during the daytime. What about the night? That is when I need the light. Can I improve on this? ஏடான்ல போய் லைட் போட்டு காட்டுறதுல என்ன விஷயம் இருக்கு? இல்ல அது ஒரு விஷயம். எங்க விஷயம்? Where it matters? It matters in slums. It matters in places where they don't have windows. Okay, there are many places all over India, even today, where you require lighting. Even in Chennai, there are places where you require lighting, even in daytime. In such places, it does matter. But where it really matters, during the night time. Now the question is, how to store so much of energy and then release it during the night. That is how the engineer's mind must think. Can just adding fluorescent powder, can it store so much of energy and release it? My immediate answer is, no, it will not. You understand? It can receive for a fraction of seconds, it can store and then release. Not more than that. So to store so much of energy, the only known method of storing energy to mankind as on date is what? Storing electrical energy in batteries. As mechanical engineers, we are also good at storing energy in springs and flywheels, particularly in flywheels. But that can be only for few seconds. We can store, or not even seconds, fraction of seconds again. We can store energy. As mechanical engineers, we also can store energy. Where do we store energy? What is the mechanical element which stores energy? Flywheel. But that stores energy only for a fraction of second. Not large quantity of energy. If you want to store a large quantity of energy, you need a large flywheel. The Taoists which you have worked with must have shown you the idea of a flywheel. That is the purpose of doing that exercise. You had one toy was with a flywheel. So that stored some energy. So that energy was released subsequently and the toy was moving. Okay. To answer your question, fluorescent powder alone, they don't have capability to store energy and release it. Good. Anything else? How much I have? 3? 4. Okay, 4. One more.
What was your neighbor sequence sensor?
Mic here, please.
What was your neighbor sequence sensor?
What was that?
Your neighbor sequence sensor.
It is something very similar to this. It is something very similar to. It is based on again the moment. Okay. It is based again on the moment. Okay. Listen carefully. Very briefly, I will talk about reversibility, and then we will call it. See. Shall I start? Shall I start? I am asking you. Yes. Right. Whenever an energy conversion takes place, when the energy is converted from one form to another, part of the energy is made unavailable. This is very, very difficult to understand. Probably your thermodynamics will teach you better. But please carry this idea behind you. Whenever an energy conversion takes place, part of the energy is made unavailable, at least from the thermal point of view. I'll tell you what it is. Suppose you convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. You convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. You should have studied about I square R loss. Yes or no? What is I square? Armature loss, field loss, copper loss. Good. What is it?
Eddy current.
Eddy current loss. Good. Eddy current loss is the field loss. Okay. Eddy current loss is copper loss. Hysteresis loss. Okay. Good. What are these? Some of the electrical energy is converted into what is the form? Heat. Beautiful. Copper is posing some definite resistance. Now it is a very good conductor. Copper is also offering a resistance. So, to the extent I square R, the electrical energy is converted into heat. I cannot use a gold winding that. R may be less for gold. But I cannot use a gold winding that because commercially it is not possible. Now people are moving away from copper to aluminium. Even motors are made with aluminium coils because aluminium is cheaper relatively. But R is higher. So I square R is going to be that amount of electrical energy is converted into. Can you ever? What happens to that heat energy? No. What happened to it? Can it be destroyed? You only said that energy cannot be destroyed. So what happened to that heat energy?
Heating of the wire.
Heating of the? No, wire didn't melt. The fan is running, but still the wire has not melted. Beautiful. It is dissipated to the environment. It is absorbed by the environment. Sorry. It is absorbed by the environment. Please remember, this is another way of viewing the global warming. But can I ever tap it back from the environment? No. It is the low level of energy, so it cannot be tapped back again from the environment. Okay, let's view it like this. Your car is generating so much of horsepower. So many kilowatts, meaning so many kilojoules per second. Every second your car engine is generating so many kilojoules. Okay, roughly 20 kilojoules per second. Every second it is generating 20 kilojoules. What happens to that energy? You are burning so much of fuel in a car that generates definitely some amount of energy. What is happening to it? Please don't tell me that it is lost. The tragedy is it cannot be lost. Because you yourself have said energy cannot be destroyed. What happens to it ultimately? Think about it. Probably we will discuss in the next class. This has something to do with universe. What happens? The question is, what happens to the energy generator in a cup? Okay, today.